Hi everyone, welcome to the the discussion today. Um, so there are only 12 people joined, and it makes sense because am I audible? All right. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. Yeah. So we will start today. The agenda for today is I have a lot of things to discuss today with you guys. So here is the basic. I want to discuss today a trade journal which community member Sanjeev Doshi ji has designed for me and also for everyone to share. It is a really nice journal, and I will go through that for first 5 minutes. Then I will discuss about the concept of de-risking, and I am sure a lot of you already know this. A lot of you already implement this, and this is also the style which we in the group as in the high tide flag deep dive pointed out that this is the best way to go about it, and I'll tell you why. With the live setting in the current market situation, especially how de-risking can be useful. So I will discuss that. Discuss about timing the bounce, and this is a subject which is very close to my heart because, the if you can figure out timing how to time the bottom and the top, that's basically getting very close to the truth, ultimate truth, right? So I'll discuss that and also discuss my strategy to navigate the market, and why I think a market is slightly bearish from the charts. Okay, so let's dive right into it. All right. So here is the Google sheet, and so what you need to do is you need to enter your portfolio size, and this can be used for high tide flags as well as to track your own trades as well, right? So your portfolio size can be 10,000 to 10 lakh to 10 crore, whatever, right? So for example, portfolio size 1 lakh, and risk per trade is 0.5%. I think this can also be changed here or somewhere, but right now it's 0.5%. And so that means that on any particular trade you don't risk more than 500 rupees. uh, and then how you enter the stock is this is automatic. So let's say if you want to enter a new stock, for example, uh, SOBHA Ltd, Shobha Limited. Right, so you just enter the name SOBHA Ltd. um, Not sure why this is not coming. Let's try another one. Oh, yes, SOBHA Ltd. Uh, K. I just quickly do KSL. Okay, so KSL, Kalyani Steel is 1029. So automatically this guy populates. And here you can also say which type of entry you took. So let's say pullback confirmation entry you took. Then this is the only place where you have to put your entry point. So let's say you entered at 1005 rupees, and your stop loss was, let's say, 980. It will uh, so it will automatically tell you, because this is your permitted risk per trade, um, what is your max number of this one, how many stocks you can buy, right? So you can buy at max 20 stocks. So actually purchased, you can either purchase 20, or like if your quantity is limited or whatever, below 20, because above 20 it will your risk on the portfolio will increase. So once that happens, then this is again very interesting. So there are three situations what can happen. One is if your trade is a winner, then I think this shows like uh, green color. If it is sort of below 10 DMA but above 20, then this color appears. If it is below 20 DMA or 21 EMA, this color goes to red. So that means that uh, bro, it's danger, right? And so sell price. So here is where this the selling into strength comes in. So for example, uh, you sell 50, so selling into strength is basically you sell 50% at a risk of two times the risk, right? So for example, Ganesh Housing, this was my price 801, and my stop loss was about here, and the stop loss was at around 759 ish. That means I had a stop loss of 5.2%. So two times that is around 10.4% at around here, and you can see that risk reward is 2.06. So at around this point, at around two times the risk, you can basically choose to sell 50% of your stock. So then what that does is that makes your trade risk free. Now I'm going to go and exactly show you in more detail what that means, but let's now go back to the sheet again. So here you have how much quantity you sell, right? So let's say you sold 10 quantities because you took 20 quantities, let's say, and you sold at whatever price, 10, let's say 1200 पे sold किया. Then your initial profit is here, 1950 rupees is now your profit, and then the rest is green. So then what here you also can put an initial the trailing stop loss. So this ATR based stop loss is basically ATR 14. So ATR 14 on this stock is 962. Okay. So what is ATR again? ATR is a very simple indicator. You can directly go here and search ATR. So this one is 10.2 and this one is 10.3. Uh, so this ATR can also be used as an excellent place for trailing. Now you don't have to exactly use this, but just giving you an example here. This is what Mr. Joshi uses in his style. So 962 is the trailing stop loss, and this will be fitted as the trailing stop loss there, and then the rest quantity will be sold when either this guy hits or it goes below 21 EMA. So at that time, and then you again, let's say your stop loss is hit. For example, your stop loss was at cost, right? 1029. Second time number sold is 20. Sorry, yeah, 10, because 10 is what was remaining. So, the price is, let's say, 1005, which was at cost, and so your total profit is basically 1950, because the second half went to did not was no loss no profit, right? So at the end of the day, total profit will be calculated here, and what was that profit as a as a multiple of your initial risk. So your initial risk, uh, whatever that initial risk was, 20 into that, how much was the risk here? Whatever it is, the whatever you got was almost four times that initial risk, right? So this average R multiple would be also a very is a very important trade statistics you need to monitor to see that how you are doing and what kind of trader you are in the long run. So in my opinion, this is a very good this one, and a lot of things are already automated here, so that makes it easier for you. Now I know that the setting is someone else's, so to make this your own, it might take some time, but I think it is definitely better than what we have right now, wherein you manually put things. And so I have already shared this in the announcement group. Please please copy this and use it for your own. You can also use this template in the sheets which we already have as part of the 25 season 2. Okay, so you can choose to copy it here also. um, and so this is a very simplified version, and that is a little automated version. I really like that. And so let's all thank Mr. Joshi ji for preparing this for us. So thank you so much. And moving on, like I said, I want to discuss de-risking here. Okay, now, so de-risking is very simple, right? So I'll I will take my personal example of de-risking. So I had three stocks, high tide flag stocks, which I took in the last this week. 26 तारीख को तीनों ही लिया था. um, Ganesh Housing, Adani Power and Shobha, right? So what happened was, Adani Power was a very tight stop loss, 2.5%. Ganesh was 5 and Shobha was 4, right? About that. And on the same day, I got follow through in Ganesh and Shobha. And what I did was, next day I sold off Shobha, because Shobha was, again, I sold off everything at around 7.8 or so. And this was about like 2 hour, right? So 4.2 into 2 is like 8.8, 7.8 is about that, 1.85 or so. And the Ganesh housing, what I did, I sold 50% at 12%, right? So this is a little higher than this one. So what this does is, let's say, for an example, I had 100 shares of Ganesh housing at 801, right? So 801, and I had risk of I had stop loss of 759, right? So that means how much risk did I have? I had 801 minus 759 into 20, okay, into 100, right? So my total risk was 100 rupee 100 shares into 42 rupees each. So in the whole trade I had a risk of 4200, just for an example. Now the moment I sold 50 shares the next day, the moment I sold 50 shares the next day, and I sold it at rupees 898, right? 898. So then what happened was, I made a profit of 50 shares into 898 minus 801. So 4800 and sorry 4800 is my profit. I had my initial risk of 4200. Now am I in a profit or in a loss in this whole trade? I'm actually at a profit of 4800 minus 4200. So even if the remaining 50 stock which I have out of the total 100, even if that guy gives me a loss, uh, and how much would the loss now, right now, the new risk in my portfolio is how much? The new risk in my portfolio is 50, because that's how much is remaining. And the initial stop loss per risk per trade was 42, right? So the new risk in my account is 2100. I already pocketed a profit of this much, okay. Ayyo. So I already had a profit of 4850. So even is this new risk 2100 materializes, माने कि अगर ये stop loss जो है बाकी 50 का कट जाता है, then still I am going to be making profit of rupees 2750. Okay, so 0.5 r, about 0.5 r of the initial risk I took, which was 4200, right? So that is why the concept of de-risking, not just the concept, the activity of de-risking is such an important thing, because once you manage to sell half at around 2 r, you are basically not just losing anything, you are actually making a small profit in that trade. So Ganesh Housing is a profitable trade for me already. Shobha is a profitable trade for me already. And uh, and now what I want to show you a little bit of how this is not just a mathematical experience, it's also a very mental experience. Now we know how the stock market has been in the last 2 3 days, because there was uncertainty yahan pe, and these were actually this was the day when we took the entry, and then this was a nice fall. A lot of de-risking also happened here. And why, I will tell more about the market structure. But you know how you felt on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right? These 3 days, how uncomfortable we were because of the uncertainty that is stock market, right? And at this time, when you know that your positions are de-risked, that kind of a mental game is the place where every trader needs to be when they are trading, you know. And that is why de-risking is so important, not just as a mathematical experience, but also as a mental experience, right? So I really want to stress this fact, and I really want to uh, experience, I mean, because the experience is very fresh in the last couple 2 3 days. I really want everyone to take a moment and think about it. Okay. And so after that, like, now what, right? Now what you can do is, like, you just, because that was the initial plan of your trade, you now don't fiddle fuck with your stop loss. The rest 50% you just leave, because markets might make a bounce, and when the bounce happens, your stop loss might still you might the stop loss might still not be hit, and you might then get a bounce. So for example, I bought Shobha here somewhere, sold Shobha here, and then I had an initial position also here. So for that, my initial stop loss is still at cost, and if this guy comes and hits it, it hits it. I am still making money on Shobha, you know. But if you then not follow your plan, and sell everything, then Shobha might bounce and you will feel bad about it, right? The same thing with Ganesh, and the same thing with any other any other this one uh, any other example of your trade. And I have been doing this in many of my stocks which are not high probability, right? So some of the names which I really had big conviction, they, on those trade, I actually add up when they move. But on trades which I don't have that many high conviction, because I mean, who knows what Alberta David is? I didn't even know this guy, right? So here I could have de-risked somewhere here or here. um, in Jayaprakash Power, I de-risked here on this day, on either on the next day or this day, right at this one. And de-risking right at this top is not the point I'm trying to focus here. But what I'm trying to focus is that, because I bought somewhere here, and because I sold 50% here, this move is not making me fret. In fact, because I sold some here, whatever I sold now can be very nicely added back here, because I know कि in the whole trade मेरे को तो पैसा बनेगा, मतलब the probability that I'm gonna make more money is high, and with the added balance of mental peace, right? um, yeah. So there are also disadvantages to de-risking. The disadvantage is that if you sold here, and given the market conditions, the stock is now here, then you are losing 50% of the move, right? But that's just the other side of the coin. um, we have to, uh, in 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 times when there are, like, risk needs to be tightly managed, uh, de-risking is a better option, is the point I'm trying to make. All right, so any questions on de-risking I can take. Again, one more point to add, that one need not sell 50% at 2 hour. Okay, one can sell 20%, one can sell 80%, one can sell at 3 hour, one can sell at 0.5 hour, 1 hour, and depending upon what combination of this hour and percentage of your position you sell, your your trade would be de-risked at multiple levels and at multiple degree, right? For those of you who still want to read more about it, I have a really nice article written on it. uh, just go to my Substack, or I'm going to send that, remind me to send that later. Okay. So that was about de-risking and the benefits it provides, especially during times like this. The next, what I wanted to discuss about, which I've also been discussing in the last couple of days, is timing the bounce. Now I've written an article about it, and I was writing it yesterday during the bounce, when the bounce was not there yet, at around 11-12 o'clock. I was writing this. So I wanted to share with you guys three breath indicators, which can help you confirm if a bounce is coming or not, right? So what are the three indicators? So even before that, the first indicator is basically the primary indicator called price. Even before looking at the indicator, we have to look at the price and know that, oh, the bounce might be coming here, right? So for example, when we look at a Nifty 500 in the 30-minute time frame, so if you see, there is a pivot here, this is a pivot, and this is a pivot. Now what's a pivot? Pivot is basically highs and lows of a swing. This was and whenever, wherever you put that line, one horizontal line, make sure that it is a candle. The candle is a pivot, right? So what is pivot means again? Is candle ka high is the highest than the adjacent two candles. Okay, that is a pivot. Is this a pivot? No, because इसके साइड वाला हाई है, इसके साइड वाला नीचे है, right? Is this a pivot? Yes. Is both of the adjacent candles have highs lower to that, right? So similarly, lower pivot is this. Okay, because इसके बाजू वाला दो कैंडल का लो इज हायर देन दैट. Okay, so basically, Dow theory, these are pivots, and a reversal occurs when we make a new high, right? So this is what you need to find in price to say that, okay, there is a possibility of reversal. And when did that happen? That happened, well, if you go even smaller time frame, then you might find the reversal somewhere here. But on a 30-minute time frame, which is a decent time frame for at least the swing guys, at around 3:15, the bigger reversal came, and the smaller one, which you can see in 5 minutes time frame, came here. Okay, again, simple Dow theory. ये दो pivot low है, I mean lower high, then there was a lower high here, then there was a lower high here, and then the next low was similar low, and then eventually on this candle we sort of broke, but there was a squat, came back, formed a higher low, and then eventually on this candle 3 baje we then sort of had the actual bounce. Okay, now let's see what the three indicators which I've written about shows you. So the first indicator is the net 4% movers, and the net 4% movers is this, and I've been showing you the net 4% mover data every day when we talk about the breadth, and it is here. So again, going through very shortly, net 4% mover is basically what percentage of total NSE stock moved more than 4%. Today, 10% of total NSE stock moved more than 4%. What percent of stock moved more than minus 4%? Only 2%, right? So then what is net? 10 minus 2, some 8.5, right? So whenever on a bull during a bull market we have like the pullbacks, or the whenever the market is pulling back, what happens is the net 4% movers data slips below zero, and you can see these are the times when it slipped below zero. This was the September 12th pullback, big shakeout. October 23rd, big shakeout. December Beeswala, everyone remembers this. The day I slept during this day, and I couldn't de-risk anything. January 23rd. Recently, when Valentine came early, February 12th, net 4% data slipped, right? So now, then when the bounce happens, what happens is that the moment this guy crosses back zero and becomes positive, that is the time when around a similar time the markets also go back to positive. Okay, so yesterday, when did it happen? When did this guy cross back up? At around 1 p.m. Okay, so at around 1 p.m. this guy crossed back up 2:15. It was essentially above zero, and if you can see that, at 30 minutes time frame, uh, at 2:15 at 2:15 we had this big candle. Wait, yeah, so at 2:15 it was essentially back up, and the Nifty 500 at 2:15 was having a very bullish candle, right? So this lines up almost every single time. Okay, so if you look back at the previous couple of shakeouts or the bounce, you see December 21 wala bounce also gave this signal. um, January wala bounce, albeit not too great follow through was there. This bounce was also very nice. February 12th wala bounce also was February 12th wala bounce also gave this signal. So that is number one. And again, these are correlations. Okay, these are correlations and these are to be used as confirmation. ऐसा नहीं कि पहले ये देखा एंड देन हाँ बाउंस आ जाएगा, ऐसा नहीं होता है. These are just to, like, make your conviction a little stronger. And 8 out of 10 times this will work, right? Now the second one is a little obscure indicator which I called as Homma ORBO indicator, right? So ORB basically stands for open range breakout. Now the so so the logic is very simple. Okay, whenever there is a bounce, okay, I'll show you the indicator. So indicator is this. So so whenever the markets are bullish, okay, when after the market opens on a, let's say, on a 5-minute range, what happens is, for example, NISEL, right? So NISEL today, this was a 915 a bar, and at the end of the day this 915 bar was taken out on this candle, 1150 ka candle, right? So if you plot all the 2000 stocks, the first 15 minute, या first 5 minutes or whatever time frame you can give, that range, when the how many number of stocks are breaking out of that range, if you plot that, and this is what this is what has been plotted, you see that on bearish days the breakdowns will increase as the day goes on. Okay, so all of these 4 days were bearish, the number of ORBDs, so open range breakdowns, increased. Okay, but you know what happens on a bounce day? On a bounce day, ORBDs will be very less, but ORBOs, the number of stocks breaking out of their open ranges, will increase. Last yesterday this happened, and this happened quite early. I mean, the 2:30 को 3:30 को 3 बजे the breakout happened, but the number of ORB started crossed ORBOs crossed ORBDs early as 1 p.m., right? And this, when did it last happen? It happened on 13th, and 13th, if you remember, was 13th February was the bounce day after the 12th February early Valentine, right? So this is also, in my opinion, a very nice signal, which, if you have the market awareness, if you have the situational awareness, this can be used as a signal, right? So I have linked this dashboard to the HPA page, and I'm also going to share this tomorrow in my newsletter. And if you guys want, you can definitely read this. Now the third is number of shakeouts. Okay, so the logic here is very simple. On the bounce or the reversal day or the day prior, what happens is that shakeouts are very high because things are coming down and then going back up, right? On the reversal, So 8 out of 10 times, what I've seen is that the number of shakeouts will spike on the bounce day or the previous day. Okay, so here's the example. This is the net 4% movers data, and you know that when this guy goes back to zero, we have a bounce. On the day and prior day, the number of shakeouts also peaks. Here it also peaks. This also peaks. Even here it's also peaks. This February 12th was also a bigger peak. Okay, and when I was preparing this, the bounce was not did not come yet. So this data is not complete. Um, So where are we now? We know that the primary signal price has broken out. Net 4% has also turned above zero, around or before the price. This guy also turned before, and a shakeout scanner had a very small peak. Okay, so now what's next? So is this so simple to time the bounce, right? So the answer is, of course it's not. Whatever I showed you is correlation data. Eight out of times, 8 out of 10 times it correlates. Out of the three signals, at least two of them will be present almost 80% of the time, right? But the fact still remains that these are breadth signal derived from primary price data and should only be used as confirmation, right? confirmation मतलब क्या, मतलब जो दिखा रहा है ना एक जो चीज़, वो मार्केट लेवल पे आ रहा है कि नहीं, that is all what your breadth data gives you. That what I'm looking at my price chart, is the market also showing similar kind of a confirmation, right? So that confirmation is very very useful. Okay, बिकॉज काउंटर ट्रेंड में जो भी चीज़ बुलिश जा रहा है, एक ना एक दिन वो मतलब निकल के, मतलब लाइक इट विल ऑल्सो फॉलो व्हाट द मार्केट इज डूइंग. यस्टरडे समवन सेड इन द ग्रुप दैट पतंग उड़ाने वाला कितना भी खतरनाक क्यों ना हो, ही कैन he can only fly the kite in the direction or with the direction of the wind, right? So something like that. So what now, matlab what now, right? Um, so that brings us to the question, what's happening with the market now? Like what can we so today what happened, now that I have already explained this. Okay, so here's the market anticipation. Okay, what might happen, because see, nifty 50 sort of has made a new high, um, but nifty 50 was already lagging the general market. So we can say that, okay, fine, this is actually catching up. Um, but let's talk about the broader index for more. Now there are three possibilities from here. Okay, this one day ka jo bounce aaya after yesterday, this might materialize into a full blown stronger up move, and that up move jab aata hai, to ye green wala resistance will be broken out, right? Now, depending on when that happens, there are certain breadth signals I want to look at, and I want to get some confirmation. Once that confirmation comes, then I will be more certain that ये वाला जो अभी move है, this is now a very strong beginning of a strong up move, because you know that what is this? This is BOB, bullish on bullish breakout, right? So bullish on bullish breakout, हमको पता है कि bullish on bullish breakouts can be very strong, but I want to first confirm कि this actually is strong. Now, how can I do that? No, so this is what I said that I'll discuss with you guys. So there are a couple of things. Again, coming back to the concept of divergence, we are still diverging. The breadth is still diverging with the price. What I mean by that is the price is making higher highs and higher lows, but the breadth is still making lower highs and lower lows. Now, what are those breadth? The first one I would like to bring to your notice is percentage of stocks above all key SMAs. सो ये वाला लोअर हाई लोअर लो बना रहा है, ठीक है. What I want to see from this breadth data is, at some point of time, imagine there is a DTL, downtrend line. You join this pivot, and this pivot. Ayo, sorry, this guy sometimes, because this is such a big sheet, it cannot take the load. And so what I want to see from this data is, I want to see the percent greater than all key, percent of stocks greater than all key MA to break out of this DTL line. Similarly, what I want to see, I mean, of course, that will happen. If that happens, then the percentage of stocks below all key MA will also start to break down from this below support line. Okay, that is one important thing I will be looking at. And if that doesn't come, I am not going to be very like, gung ho about the market going up again. Similarly, what I want to see is this advanced decline line in a smaller time frame. The 10-day AD line and the 20-day AD line is also now, I mean, not now, since January, has been in a bearish divergence, right? Higher, ये high, इसके lower high. I also at some point of time want to see, if not a higher high, at least a higher low in this. So the lows are also, we are making lower lows, but hopefully this guy now will stick as a higher low, right? So if then it starts making higher lows, I will say that okay, the breath is coming back. Okay. Similarly, if you see the percentage of stocks which are above RSI 60 is also diverging, like lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower. I want to see this guy now breaking out of this DTL. So that these are some of the breadth data. And people who want to learn about breadth data, please read tomorrow's article. I have linked all the articles here. So if you click here, you will go to the article where I talk about breadth data. If you go here, net movers, I talk about net movers here. If you click here, I talk about the ORB. If you want to know what is BOB breakout, I have linked that BOB somewhere here. Okay, here. All right. So um, so where was I? Shit, where was I? All right, so what I was there, so this is number one possibility, and I will need some confirmation. Just because price is going up, I will still be very selective. Uh, uh, I will still be looking only for short-term swing trades. Now the second possibility is that this guy now hits this and again find some resistance, come back and still be inside the base, right? And that is the second possibility, and very high chance of that happening. And the third possibility is that the actual pullback, well, which we were all being very afraid of, is actually right around the corner here, and this might happen, right? So so all of these three probabilities are still ripe in the market, and as and when that happens, we will use breadth data to see, to confirm what is happening is actually the whole market is also saying, right? And that's where having a process becomes very important. And I think we have all the tools to navigate the system, whatever market throws at us, very efficiently. And again, to reiterate, this is level 1 danger, and that is why marked in yellow. This is level 2 danger. Level 2 danger also coincides with your 50 DMA. So hopefully if this comes, then again we get a bounce. We will again play the bounce, but we'll play with swing. So we played this, we hopefully played this bounce yesterday. Some people got in good PBA stocks, PVC stocks. I also got into IRIDA. So we'll play this bounce, and when that happens, we will again de-risk. And when this bounce again happens, we will again play that bounce, right? So positional play करने का time तो चला गया अभी, because positional play we should have done here, 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 here. And right now what happens is, the structure which we are in is called an ascending wedge. Okay, so you know what's a triangle? triangle is very simple. You have a straight base, horizontal base, and basically this is a triangle, right? So this is different from triangle in the sense that the base is not a horizontal, but it's sloping up or sloping down. So there are two kinds of wedges. One is where it slopes up like this, and this is a sloping up wedge, and the other one where the slope of the wedge is down. So the ones which slopes down, those wedges are actually bullish. Okay. And so those sloping wedges आप आपको दिख जाएंगे कहाँ पे, the the mast of many flags, if they are sloping down, those flags are called pennants, and this is just potato, right? But price action of this is actually bearish. Now the idea behind this price action, why the sloping up is called bearish, is basically this. Okay, so imagine a price action uh, which is like this. What is this? This is a ascending channel, right? So ascending channels are bullish. Why? Because price is making higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, right? So this is how a bullish stocks in stage 2 they move. But why then this price action is bearish? Now the idea behind this is, okay, every time we are moving, what we are doing is we are losing momentum. So first time I moved some percentage, right? So let's say I moved 7%. So 7% push करने के लिए the momentum was X in the market. Yeah, the bulls had X strength, X force, which threw us up to 7.3%. Now next time we came back, we found support in this trend line. That's fine. But then next time when we again went up, we only went to 5.7%, right? So what's happening here? The momentum is decreasing. Okay, fine. We came back, but we came back and found support at the similar at the same trend line. The next time the bulls again came back into work, guys. What's happening? Only 4.2%, right? So what's happening here is there is decrease in momentum with each swing, and that is why a, a, a wedging up slope is a bearish pattern, because at some point of time we believe that the momentum of the decreasing momentum of the bulls will eventually be overpowered by bears, and we will then see this kind of breakdown at some point of time. Okay, now having said that, this is still not 100% possibility, because there are so many wedges that actually break out also, but definitely the probability or the percentage of that happening is really low. Okay, and especially after a long, I mean at the later stages of a bull market, the ascending wedge breaks down more often than not, right? So that's where we are going, and then that brings me to my plan, right? So मेरा plan आपको बता दिया मैं. Plan the trade, trade the plan, right? That's a very simplest word, but almost it's the equivalent of fundamental people abusing Mr. Buffett's quotes. Most of the time they fail to follow what they say, right? It's the same equivalent to technical traders. We like to say trade the plan, plan the trade, but things go out of the window when things don't go according to our plan. But my plan, however, is this, uh, that again I will need confirmation if this breaks out. As long as this guy is inside the ascending wedge moving near to the apex, I will trade very carefully. Right now I am little less than 40% invested, and I will take quick ins and outs, possibly do some intraday trades here and there. And if this guy breaks down, I will further de-risk my position, and uh, uh, will not will not hold them much longer. That's my plan, and hopefully this whole discussion will also uh, push you towards having a plan already for all of these three conditions. I'll take questions now. Yeah, so that's not part of the this one. But most of the things here is already in like to here and there. Most of them is in the breadth one. You will find in the breadth one. Okay. Uh, so half of them is in the breadth. Where is the breadth? Breadth. So you will find a lot of most of them here. Why I'm not sharing this is my master spreadsheet. There is a lot of crap here, lot of crap, and people you will only be confused as to what is this. So the ones which are high probability stuff is shared in here. So if you see here, you have this net up down, 4% advanced decline. This is shared. Okay. Yes, Manik, AD line is advanced decline line. I have done a very good job explaining that in one of my articles. Please go and have a look at that. And if you have further questions, then we can chat more about it. All right, guys, any more questions? Should we now, do you guys know? So, what are we going to do tomorrow? I don't plan to take any trades which I'm going to carry. Might just watch the markets and do some study how 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 and what it happens. Look at some breadth, and if possible, if there is any intraday entries. So today I took a couple of intraday entries, and I think I'm getting a little better in intraday entries. And at some point of time, maybe we can deep dive a lot on that as well uh, for people who are interested. Anyways, I'm done early, so guys, please, if you have any questions, let's go. Yeah, yeah. I'm just getting quick in, quick out, man. Like, and it's very difficult for me because I am a I although I call myself a swing trader, but I think I still romance the idea of like holding something for a larger gain. So so that's my bias. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so 20 and 10 I don't really track. I just track this plot. So this is that plot which you are saying. So this is the up 20% in 5 days, and this is down 20% in 5 days. And if you see up 20% in 5 days is also showing a bearish divergence. Yeah, don't track this too much. This is enough, man. This is peak data. The periodicity of updating the high tide flag. So high RS watch list I don't upload. What I do is once in a week I update the high RS watch list, because once in a week I sit there and go and do my weekly study of how a khatarnak stock behaves, right? And I think everyone should do that. High tide flag list gets updated almost every day. Today also I went through the list already, and put in a couple of names here and there, and took out a couple of names. So let's quickly go through the red list and see what has happened. And because today was a little bit of a bullish day, if we at all had some good entries and all, right? So we can do that. So Shobhal is looking good. I really like it. If this gets little tighter, we might again get back in. So Kamdhenu eventually had the follow through today. So we discussed that this day was a good PVC entry because the pullback, there was some sort of a confirmation that the pullback is now going to go up, but the next day was an inside bar. But eventually today, as someone asked me, I think Anil asked me the question that this guy is still not broken out of the 9 EMA. Was today's entry a good entry? In my opinion, it still is a good entry because you see, the Mars is already above zero and is now pointing up, right? Um, so it's a good entry in my opinion. So another example of why I like to anticipate in this low market cap 5% movers, because this guy you will not find entry now. PC PC Jewelers, okay. Um, so this was the day when we discussed. I mean, on Tuesday we said PC Jewelers was a high probability. It broke out. Next day, I mean, there was no way to, if you अगर आपने इस ट्रेड के साथ छेड़खानी किया है तो देन टेक्निकल इज नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम, ओके. इमोशनल emotional control is a problem here, right? Was a good trade. It was all written over it from technicals. We spent a good 5 minutes on this chart and a very clean follow through. Quartz cable setting up again. Yesterday I put this guy here because of how good this candle looked like. Spark yesterday, this looked good, and we again discussed that this was an entry, an early entry of sorts. Moved well today, and also uh, yesterday also it did cross above zero, and it not only crossed above zero, it also crossed above this guy, right? So sometimes obviously this also will fail, but yeah. So with the market bounce and all, this is still the best time to enter, because in this case you'll have the lowest risk if in case market move didn't materialize, right? But if it materializes, then you have a very nice reward. uh, Batao. No problem, Mangesh. Yes, yes, this is a very nice entry. See this guy. So when this entry happens, when this is also a very nice entry. Yes. So this would be a cheat entry. This would be like a pullback confirmation entry, right? Yeah. So this I haven't entered, but this was discussed yesterday extensively again. Uh, yeah, and this is another entry. If markets would have been really like not like how it is right now, I would definitely have entered this, but maybe not now. I mean, that's where I would restrict myself. But great entry. Yes, yes. This is still a good entry. 380, 387, 388. Yep. Thank you for your question. National Aluminium. So again, this is a very, so this one I Mayaj, this one was languishing somewhere here unmarked, and I got this guy inside the house. Very good 2T, like amazing. Um, Again, I don't like on anticipations, but some if someone was very big on anticipation, today would have been a good day to anticipate. Okay. Setting up IRB infra, setting up really nice, similar to National Aluminium. Uh, Again a 2T setup, and hopefully now this guy will bounce from near zero. These are all setups. What is this? So peak setups, okay. Like all of them are like really good setups. Like look at this pole, like one sided. Every day it either has a higher high or a higher low, or a higher high or a higher low, except for this day, and somewhere here when we're like so yeah. The Oh, Hudko, what a nice chart, like peak. So global surfaces, someone yesterday said, then we marked this guy and it broke out today. So today would have been a good entry above this pivot. Trill, again setting up transformers and rectifiers. Very strong sector, very strong industry. Um, yeah, Bilal getting tight. You will find very low risk if you enter right now. I mean, there is only anticipation entry right now. The main entry is above this. LICI, yeah, I'm because it's also a government company. I'm very interested in this also because uh, the the PSEs will be the last guys to lose the bull participation, right? So everything else will lose their everything else will be bearish. The PSEs will be the last man standing, right? So if you still want to go long, I would I would mostly only look at these names. I don't want to look at this guy setting up. So everything is setting up. So EIH today could have been an anticipation entry. Um, yeah. So 2 days, 3 days of like very tight closing going sideways, and at an imaginary 21 EMA line. So what I'm saying here is not that EIH Hotel Associate पक्का तेरे को पैसा बना के देगा. What I'm saying is that if you enter on the breakout of this line, what will happen is that you will have a very low risk as compared to the reward. So your risk could be as low as 3.6%, and your minimum reward will be 2.93% because there is a very high chance that ये जाके ओनिल पिवट पे एटलीस्ट ओनिल पिवट तक तो पहुंचेगा. तो you are basically playing head and tail with your friend, and the deal you are getting is there is a 50-50 chance of getting head and tail. बट अगर हेड आया तो मैं तेरे को 1 रुपया देगा, अगर टेल आया तो तू मेरे को 2.93 रुपया देगा, राइट? सो दैट इज द काइंड ऑफ डील यू आर गेटिंग, एंड दैट्स व्हाट टेक्निकल एनालिसिस इज ऑल अबाउट. Inox screen setting up, setting up, setting up. Nice. So yeah, at some point of time, this is what I anticipated, or we anticipated rather, and that's what it's playing out. So now what I'll do is I will not have this because pattern morphing, right? What is the pattern which this guy might go into? So this is the pattern. Again, setting up very nicely. Apparently, I don't know what this guy does, but from नाम से तो दिख रहा है कि कुछ रिन्यूएबल टाइप का होगा. तो अगेन अ वेरी गुड sector getting tight. Infibeam, good setup. Alberta Davis. Now I am slightly now getting a little bit of woe, but I still have hope. ये 50 DMA आके support करेगा, right? Schneider. So I am very happy with today's candle because I want this guy to give me a proper entry after doing this. Okay. Again. So Asal yesterday we discussed in the sense that this was a good place to anticipate, and even today, like, so for example, let's say you had like top five names and Asal was in the top five. So in the morning when this guy was breaking out, this is the time when you should get in, right? So this is what I also do. My top five bets in Zerodha, I will have like five different tabs because don't have like multiple screens. I just have one screen. So I'll just open my top five bets, and today my top four bets for intraday, I took I waited for entries in the top three, right? And all three of them gave me some returns. So this is what you also need to do to hunt entries. Like, you cannot just be putting alerts and like just be like ho jayega, because the right entry will not wait for you. The right entry is a very feeble thing. It'll come and it'll go. So if you see in Asal, let's see how it played out. So 9:15, sorry, कितने? 9:15 it broke out, and even like the next 5 minutes till 9:25 you had a decent entry, which was a pullback confirmation entry. And uh, and so and so if you want to enter something at really good risk points, and really good risk point is basically what you call a perfect entry, you have to do the hard work, brother. You have to, like, yeah. So there, but all I'm trying to say is there is a method to do this, and the method I will show. Execution, you have to start. All right, I'll stop here. And it's yeah, it's 9 now. If you have any other questions, guys, we will take it for a couple of minutes. Yes, I will. Hi Lango, how are you? I'm good, man. I'm good. So, what auto is this? Jain Auto. J, a Jamna Auto, right? So this is very bullish. So let's look at the weekly chart, and because if you don't have much idea, then weekly chart will sort of give you a very nice this one. So from here, what I can see is that this is a the price action is a little coarse. It's not very, sweet and humble. And right now it is breaking out of the right side of the base. Okay, so one can say that, let's say this is a cup and handle of sorts, and this one would have been the pivot. And this week it tried to break out, it did squat, and squats ain't bad. The next 2 weeks was a pullback, and then today, this week again, with huge volumes, it made this one. uh, it tried to break out again, and hopefully because tomorrow is also another day, so will be added to this week. Hopefully by week, this guy closes above, and if that does, then in a for a positional longer term time frame, this is the perfect entry. Okay, and you also have other confirmations, which is the other confirmation. The only confirmation which you require more than here sometimes is the relative strength. Okay, so had this guy been below yahan pe somewhere, right? So uh, to give you an example, um, where is HUL at? Hindustan Unilever. So so here, see, Hindustan Unilever does not have any relative strength at all. This poor guy is like way below. Like it is underperforming the index by more than 23% or so, right? So I wouldn't trade this, but Jamna Auto is very strong, because it is still, I mean, not very strong, but it is the relative strength is now going to an outperforming direction. So first, that's why on a weekly, I it looks great. If you have a like a weekly kind of a time frame, this looks really great. Now going back to the daily time frame, which is the time frame of your execution, um, had I seen this guy here, and I had all if I already had a fundamental inkling, I would have tried to get in here. But even if someone gets here today, still a good place to enter. Okay, and the relative strength clearly is now going on a right direction, pointing up. At max, one can have. I mean, if things go all right, at max one, I can I can understand if this guy bases here for quite some time, and then my bias is bullish. You're welcome, Ilango. Manik, hi Jada. Yeah, go on, go on. ये वाला और ये या mm-hmm. This one. There is a small node, man. There is a small node. You will not find it in daily, but let's just look at this. Okay, uh, there is a small node. I think so. You see this one. Okay, but again, so this node is there, and there is some. This is a level of interest. But again, this is a level of high resistance. That is what is shown from this node, right? So you see here, this is better. So this is a node. There are two areas. One would be this. This area would be high. This one, and this area was a sort of a high. So these are the two zones where there are bodies. There are possible bears here. There are possible bulls here. 63 and 66. Yeah. Yeah, so NMDC might also now be again starting the uptrend. Um, I mean, it's quite strong. Uh, this is a primary, this is a primary trend line, and we sort of have a reversal. Uh, we sort of have a reversal, and if I were to take an entry, I would take an entry above this. Yeah, yeah. All right, folks. No questions. Then tomorrow there is no war. We will possibly meet on Sunday evening for high tide flag, or we'll decide. See, the high tide flag names will not be different. It will be these guys only. So we might directly meet on Monday also. Yeah, thanks for joining, guys, and